So the Young Republic is a youth organization. We work all over Europe.
We're registered in Sweden since 2015.
Yeah, and we aim to build more inclusive democracies in Europe. We did this program that is called the Changemakers Academy, and we want to share with you what we have learned.
Yeah. The Changemakers Academy is a 6 months capacity building and collaborative action program that was supported by the European Youth Foundation of the Council of Europe.
I think our aim was we wanted to work with young people to create the change that they want to see. And the tool for that was that we were providing capacity building and mentorship for them to find the gaps that they want to work on, to design what kind of action they want to carry out. And then we were just providing the support, the infrastructures for them to do this.
So the Changemakers Academy, one of its particularities is that it's a program targeting non-organized youth. Most of the training programs are usually for youth who are already having experience with the civil society, with activism, and ask for that as one of the criteria. The Changemakers Academy's idea is to target youth who are not organized, who are not already in organizations or associations or volunteering groups, but who are interested in creating a change or inclusion. And it's creating a platform for them to come together, collaborate, build their capacities, get mentorship and support, and create the change they want to see. So they are tackling needs that they consider as urgent and important to tackle in their communities. We started with a kick-off training, 4 days training. We called it kick-off meeting.
The informal training was also very important, and by informal I mean the learning that happens outside the training room, because we had people from almost 17 different nationalities who live in Stockholm. So people were learning about each other because some people have never met someone from that certain group or nationality or that area. So that was also a very interesting aspect of this program. And I would highlight 2 main aspects of the Changemakers Academy that I think makes it different from other programs. The first one is how we worked on changing the narratives around migrants and refugees and around social change in general. So I think there is a dominant narrative in the youth field and in civil society in general, and among the people who we would consider, converted, the people who want to do good, that we want or we need to help them. Them meaning refugees or migrants. We want to work for them. We want to talk about them. So there is a lot of othering in this relationship, and this power relationship is not really fair or even equal. What we wanted to do is to reverse this. So we want to break the help.
So it's not a group helping the other, it's not the locals teaching the young refugees, nor the other way around. It's people coming together, learning from each other, and collaborating to create a change in their community, to create a more inclusive one.
The role of being a mentor in the Changemaker Academy it's an experience that I will take with me because it was not like I come in like a professor or an expert. It was more about being a part of the group, of coming with some expertise in some specific tools or point of views, but it was more about to have a discussion and to create something new. It was not only a learning process for the team I was mentoring, it was also a learning process for me to change my point of view.
It's based on human rights, so it is a project using a human rights-based approach. Inclusion is a right for everyone to participate in their community, to take part in the decision-making processes and all different processes that affect their lives. So this is one of the main values of the project too. We learned many things through these 6 months and more with the preparation and evaluation and so on. One of the main things I can think about is the importance of the selection process, because it's a very particular one. In fact, the selection process needs to be kind of very open. We're not asking for people to have already experience to be able to join. It's even the other way around, that we are looking more for people who don't have a big experience, not have had the possibility to work for change before. So it's very important to make sure that people who join are motivated for the program, because it's long term. It's very important to be sure that people understand and are aware of the commitment needed, so the expectations, make sure that they are clear. What they expect from the program is what the program is about.
If I speak about challenges or some expectations that anyone who starts a new project should have, that I would mention that it's really important in this kind of projects, in formal education, to be ready to put yourself out there, to be ready to take decisions, to be ready that no one is actually going to push you or tell you what to do. You need to take a lead sometimes, you need to dare to say things and do things. And it's really great because it makes you really free to be creative and to put your own message there. But on the other hand, this is something that we need to prepare for and need to be ready for.
And here comes another issue that I think is very important in doing such programs, is time. It's a very difficult one. I don't have a particular recipe right now to share, but it's very important to find the right balance between things not being too short, rushed, and because people will be working on a project for some time, so they need to be sure that this is the project they want to work on, that the group constituted does really have the same understanding of what is needed to do and so on. At the same time, not too long, so that people just lose their motivation, their commitment, and other things happen in life. So I think time is something that is also very central in considering these kind of programs. Yeah, and just to speak about the monthly meetings, so the idea is that along the way, when they were implementing their local projects and analyzing their context and getting to know eventual partners and creating partnerships, the groups had to meet once a month all together. We call that monthly meetings, to share their advancement, to feedback each other, get ideas, and get some also capacity building and some tools that will support them with the next steps. And at the very end, in November, there was the closing and evaluation of the program, of course, and there was a public seminar with the local community where the participants, mentors, us had to have the chance to present the program, to discuss about the issue that were tackled, which were, in that case,
to increase the turnout among foreign-born young people, especially females, for the local elections in Stockholm that happened last September. And then the second one was to try to work with the local community in one of the suburbs here in Stockholm to increase citizens' participation, or the people who live there vis-a-vis the local authority or the municipality in that area. And then the last one is to work around the issue of safe housing of LGBTQI asylum seekers in Stockholm.
I was working with a team that made the project Jag finns, I exist. Our idea was to inspire women from utsatta områden in Stockholm, those who come from immigrant or refugee background, to vote in the local election in Sweden in September 2018. And I think we found a pretty cool solution, and it worked pretty well. We contacted influencers and we worked with them to push this message through. We found influencers who themselves come from the immigrant or refugee background, so they could speak really close to the hearts of those who we were targeting. And it resulted in really nice feedback, discussions, reposts, and people voting and putting their pictures how they vote with the hashtag Jag finns. And we were really happy in the end that we helped to promote participation and inclusion in Stockholm.
The focus was not on actually implementing this event or this action, but it's also about the journey and the learning that happened throughout, and also most importantly about the network that has been built locally among different activists and mentors.
We are doing things together and not for anyone else. We're doing things that can be a part of people's everyday life.
I would also add that one of I think, the success factors of this program was the support that we have received from the European Youth Foundation of the Council of Europe, because it was not a traditional funding. It was a very small amount of funding for this 6 months program.
It was under the pilot activity scheme, so it's really the lowest funding scheme.
Yeah, and it's incredible how much you can do with very little money, because we were trying to innovate and really make use of all the possible resources in the local community, and also with our partner Unga Earner, in terms of venues, rooms, materials, etc. And we were receiving no constraints from the European Youth Foundation, so they acted more as a partner than actually as a funder. They didn't constrain us or tell us that, okay, this area that you need to focus on, which was very comfortable for us.